Are you scared of tofu? I know I was scared of tofu. When I first went plant-based, I actually avoided most tofu recipes. But then over time, I found that I liked using tofu in recipes that weren't necessarily like the typical, cubed tofu, but rather tofu that was either crumbled or mixed into a pudding or even shredded. And so today I want to show you my top 3, and I may even throw in a 4, recipes with shredded tofu. So let's get to it. The first recipe I'll be making is barbecue tofu haystacks. Let's make some barbecue chicken, actually tofu. There's a vegan joke, like, what do I use my steak knife for? Oh, for opening tofu packages. And I get it because they're actually kind of a pain to open. Just shred it, just like you would a block of cheese. Okay, you can spray your pan if you want to first, just so the tofu doesn't get too sticky. Now, tofu does not have a lot of flavor on its own, so this is where you've got to add the flavor. I am using Stubbs reduced sugar barbecue sauce. Now I'll mix in all of that barbecue sauce. I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees, so I'll go ahead and we'll cook that for about 20 minutes. For the haystacks, we'll also be grilling up some broccoli and cooking some sweet potatoes. And then on top of all that, we'll put some avocado. It's delicious with the tofu and the broccoli and the sweet potatoes and the avocado. But first I need to cook the broccoli and sweet potato. Again, you may want to spray your pan. Let's season with onion powder to sprinkle it, some garlic powder, and some salt. I feel like these are the 3 go-tos whenever I'm doing potatoes. We'll add some thyme. Isn't it about time? We'll put that in the oven. Again, that 400 degrees oven for at least 20 minutes as well. Now let's prep the broccoli. So similar pattern, let's spray the pan. Garlic powder, salt, onion powder. And then because broccoli tends to get dry, just the tiniest bit of oil. I also might add a little bit more salt because, broccoli. We'll put that in the oven with the potatoes. The barbecue, I really like it crispy. I think it tastes a little better. So I want to move the stuff on the side into the center and the stuff that was in the center onto the side so everything can get crispy. If you have an air fryer, amazing. Chewy, crispy. It's the best part about tofu. It's safe to eat right out of the package. While the sweet potatoes and broccoli are cooking, I'm going to pull out some of that barbecue tofu, which looks just like chicken, and make a barbecue tofu pizza, just made with a single whole wheat wrap. So let me show you, it's really easy and delicious. It won't take much. No one loves a ton of onions to overpower everything. So since I'm already waiting for everything in my oven to cook and my oven is full, I'm going to toast the tortilla over the stove. You can see how this is firm, whew, nice and toasted. Next, I want to cook my mushrooms, and I'm gonna add some water to steam these. The broccoli is done. Look at that perfection. And the tofu is done, perfect. It shrinks in size, it's nice and crispy, it's perfect. So before we do the haystacks, let's quickly make this barbecue pizza that you can see that the tortilla is perfect. Nice and crispy. And then we'll add just enough chicken. It's not chicken, it's tofu. Then some red onions, mushrooms, and then some cilantro. Now, of course, what's going to make this actually taste good is adding more barbecue sauce. We have everything ready to put together the barbecue tofu haystacks. So let's do the sweet potatoes first. Just kind of make a pile. Perfect. Then you have your broccoli. And after the broccoli comes the delicious tofu. And after the tofu, this is where it gets good, is avocados. I really love my little avocado cutter. So I'll just pull in some slices of avocado on each one. And then, of course, we need a little bit more barbecue sauce to finish it off. And there are your barbecue tofu haystacks. Let's make buffalo chicken tostadas with shredded tofu. Shred the tofu. I did not even press it. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. And then I've turned my stove on medium heat. I'm gonna add it to my pan. So I'm not using buffalo sauce. This is just Frank's Red Hot sauce. This is what will give the tofu flavor and that buffalo flavor that I was talking about. You can see how the liquid is gone now. That's where we want it to be. We want to kind of make this a little bit more crunchy, not so mushy. I turned off the stove and just letting it sit for a little bit longer. So these are white corn tortillas, and I'm using hummus as the first layer. I feel like hummus really helps everything stick together. Now we'll layer the tofu on each one. Next, I'll layer some frozen corn. It will heat up in the oven. I'll quickly dice some tomatoes and green onions. All right, then we'll put that in the oven for 10 minutes. So while mine is cooking, for my kids, I'm going to layer tortillas, hummus, corn, half tomatoes, some of them don't love tomatoes, and then some vegan cheese. Let's get real. Now I know I can easily make cashew cream cheese or sour cream by just adding, cashews and water to my blender, but I'm going to be even lazier than that, and I'm using just some organic yogurt. It is plain, unsweetened. This one is cashew yogurt with a little bit of coconut cream. It is cultured, which I'm excited about, and I'm gonna put it in a little baggie so I can spread it around just like I would sour cream. It's about 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup. And they're done. Spread sour cream. And the last shredded tofu recipe that we will try today is loaded Queenstown Nachos. We'll cut the tortillas in the shape of chips. Over 2 pans, we'll spread them out. Then preheat your oven to about 350. The pan just very super lightly with some olive oil and add some salt. Let's bake. I'll bake the tortillas for 20 minutes, and at the 10-minute mark, I'll flip them over, bake on the other side. While the tortillas are cooking, let's shred the tofu. Now again, of course, extra firm works great. I really love super firm if you can find it. It's just harder to find. Over medium-high heat, I'll add that tofu. You can use any type of taco seasoning. You can make your own taco seasoning, but you'll want a solid package, which has, I'm gonna say 2 to 4 tablespoons of taco seasoning in here. And then at least 1/4 of the can of red enchilada sauce. Again, when it comes to tofu, you have to flavor the tofu. it looks great. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so I will turn over my tortillas. Okay, now we will add a can of rinsed and drained black beans, about 1.5 cups of frozen corn. And then we'll heat all that up together. And then add the mixture, the tofu, shredded tofu, beans, and corn. Then we'll add a few more teaspoons of that enchilada sauce. And we'll add some cilantro. Are you guys excited? Some red onions for garnish. I'm adding some coconut yogurt for, it's unsweetened, so it's like a sour cream. So we're gonna add that to the top, smashed up.
I love avocado.
You love avocado?
Yes.
This coconut one, now that I've tasted it, tastes just like coconut. So use the cashew-based yogurt instead of coconut-based yogurt. Otherwise, it's a big hit, huh? You like it?
Yes.
Yes. Look at that. If you like these recipes and learning all the ways that you can make shredded tofu, make sure to check out our free meal guide by just clicking down on the link below.